Right, welcome back. You're watching Tech Today show at Science TV, and we are talking about enhancing accessibility and video production, and we are talking about the techniques for video production, the techniques of video production for persons with disabilities. Of course, we talked so much about it in the first part, and in the second part, we are just coming to conclude uh, this discussion. And Felix, before we took that break, I was uh, telling you some of the techniques that, of course, of course, a video producer can use to make sure that a blind person understands the content.
Yeah.
So, and when okay, when we have come back now, I want us to talk about how producers can ensure these techniques are implemented and they are effective. So, what can you say about this?
Mm. The first one, I'll say, when editing the video clip,
Yeah.
please insert a clear with a commanding color that captions or bottom ticker text are easily visible from far, or are clearly visible, and make sure that the grammar that you have used is simple, because not everyone here outside has that ability to understand those vocabularies.
Yes.
They have to simplify the language so that everyone on the internet or a person who is watching television knows that this English is meaning this, because when you use strong words, it may be an hindrance to a person that has disability and was in urge of understanding what is happening. So that's one thing they will do to make sure that the bottom ticker text or the captions are clear and
they are visible.
And they are vivid and visible to the person's ability.
Yeah.
The second thing is that the sound that is used, it should be clear and maybe well polished to bring closer a person who may want to listen to it. They should not use just any sound. They should use a sound that is attractive and bringing a good view, or bringing a person to come and understand it very well. Yeah. So another thing is that interpretation should be done very well in such a way that many deaf just watch it and understand what is really happening. That is the main technique that I can talk of.
Okay. And when you talk about captions,
Yeah.
also those without disability, of course, you depend on it at some point.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, because at some point you may not understand very well, or you missed some part of the commentary, if it is a TV or a radio, so, or online.
Yeah.
You will just have to use that caption that is written there to understand where was this person. Let's say the president was somewhere, or was talking to a multitude somewhere, and at some point you don't understand where is this place, where or the you came late, or you opened your television late, and you find that it is continuing already.
Yeah.
And they are past the place where they said
Or maybe
the
he's
president,
about to finish.
yeah, the president was at this place talking about this, and you find that they are past that place. So you will have to look at the captions, you'll have to look at the bottom ticker tape lines, so that you understand where was the president?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have this urge to ask you
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
Let's say you are watching a movie.
Yeah.
And the language
Yeah.
used on that movie
Yeah.
is not a language that you can understand. This movie is not acted in Swahili or
Yeah.
English. Let's say is a Chinese movie.
Yeah.
I find it hard to understand. How do you understand this movie and they're talking Chinese or maybe Japanese? And you find that especially the action movies,
Yeah.
you find that the language being used there, even if you just listen,
Yeah.
you can't understand. But a person who is able to see, you find that they understand this movie. How do you do that?
Yeah. First thing, there are apps that translate. These applications, they are used mostly in international conferences, whereby you know someone is speaking Portuguese, someone is speaking English, someone is speaking Swahili. So this is an integrated application that it sends to you information in your language. But the language of communication in that conference is different, or is different from everyone's. So it sends to you specifically, and these applications can also be downloaded on the phone, so that when the movie is playing, they are talking Spanish, but the application is communicating to you. Yeah, is communicating to you in your preferred language, whether you like Kikuyu, whether you like Kamba. These languages are all there, but mostly I know the deaf persons or those persons with disability, they prefer English, Swahili, and maybe one of their mother tongue. And this application has most of their languages. So, and this application is not one. There are many versions. Maybe you go and find one that fits you. But there are these applications that are there. The world has brought many things, Mololo. Even they are the ones that predict everything. Let's say, starting with the weather, starting with let's say, even it has gone far. Let's say menstruation in women.
Wow.
The Nini has gone far in such a way that everything now is possible online. They can even at some point there are even cars that have been improvised to sense danger ahead.
Okay, so you mean the technology has made even cars to sense if there is danger?
Yeah, even the ships, they can sense if there are ocean tides. If this technique was there since the Titanic sink, I think it could not have sunk, because the Titanic sank because of the iceberg. There was an iceberg, and the Titanic, or the ship, went and got stuck in the Titanic, in the iceberg. So if this technique was there, the ship could have sensed this danger ahead, and maybe it stops moving and wants to the direction of the ship to change, so that it goes to a safe place. So yeah, even in the aeroplanes, it is technique or technology that is used. The same way it is used here to make sure that persons with disability really understand what is going on. Even at this point, pilots, there are deaf pilots that they use signs, but they carry people, and they even take on these cargo planes.
Wow.
It is very possible. If you go online, you search, you will find there are many things that is happening through technology, and these people and these things mainly favor person's stability.
Okay, so are there any tools or software you recommend for creating accessible video content? You can tell us as we wrap up.
First thing I can say, Filmora. That is an editing. Yeah, it is an editing software. We have Adobe Premiere Pro. It does those things of putting captions and other things. We also have Adobe InDesign. This one is used to make these magazines or newspapers. They use Adobe InDesign to make sure that they have captions and the newspaper is appealing for a person or for a person with disability to buy it and maybe look at the news that are trending. The second thing is there are a variety of apps that are used in creating photos or manipulating photos. Let's say the Adobe Photoshop, we have the Acrobat, and many other apps have been used to enhance person's ability, accessing or accessibility to the person's ability.
Okay. Thank you for those recommendations. And as we finalize, what final thoughts would you like uh, to share with our viewers on this topic? Or rather, your final remarks?
I will say that technology has at large helped incorporate or bring anyone, regardless of your inability or your disability, you have been given another chance, another second option, that you are able to access content and you are able to be updated on issues that are going on all around the world through the internet, through the mainstream media, through television, through social media like YouTube, TikTok, and all those like Facebook, Twitter. You can see there, there are many tools that have been used to explain to you what is happening. So I will call upon everyone as a person with ability, uh, know your weaknesses and know how to evade your weaknesses through going through social media, trying to Google and learn how you are going to do to make sure that you are up to date and to make sure that everything in your life moves so smoothly.
Any message to a video producer or a content creator watching you and they don't know how to make sure they make their content accessible to people with disabilities? What do you have to tell them?
I will say they should incorporate multimedia production. This means that the video that you produce for social media, the video that you produce for streamline media, let's say television and all those, it should incorporate these three things. First, it should incorporate sound, should incorporate captions, should incorporate sign language interpretation, so that everyone, whether on social media or somewhere else, is able to access and is able to understand. That will make sure that you are not biased towards the people that are normal, but you care about everyone in the society, because the society is born to be integrated together through these people that are learned. They have that responsibility of making sure that everything or anything that fits them also fits the underprivileged, like the person with disability.
Well said. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your expertise on accessible video production techniques. By the way, I didn't know you know so much about technology, and just because time did not allow us to continue with this discussion, but I'm sure there's so much that you can tell people about technology, and especially when it comes to people with disabilities. And of course, thank you so much to you, our viewers, for tuning in. And remember, it's all about accessibility, which is key to creating content that resonates with everyone. See you next time. This is Chris Mololo. Our sign language interpreter was Wanja Mede. You've been watching Tech Today on Science TV, courtesy of Kenya Society for the Blind. Goodbye.